Anti-government protests in Sudan are now into a sixth day, and the violence is showing no signs of abating. Police in the capital Khartoum have opened fire on a funeral that turned into a demonstration. Human rights groups say at least 50 people have been killed since Monday, as protesters show their anger at the rising cost of fuel. And as Harriet Martin reports from Khartoum, the funerals provide a continuing focus for more protests and more violence.
This is the funeral of 28-year-old pharmacist Saleh Sunhuri, who was shot dead by government forces on Friday during protests triggered by an increase in fuel prices. He was a member of a well-known family in Khartoum, and anger over his death led thousands of people to join the demonstrations after his funeral. Protesters shout, we are here," against the people who killed our son. We spoke to one witness who said police fired rubber bullets at protesters.
Today the protest people went out on the streets because yesterday there is a doctor, a pharmacist got shot at a 5-day demonstration, and it was extremely peaceful demonstration today around 60th Street, and we got surrounded by police and by the army. They shot like rubber bullets.
The total number of people killed in the protests over the last week is disputed, but we know dozens of people have been killed. It all started when the government ended its fuel subsidies, almost doubling the price of fuel overnight. The government says it can no longer afford to offer cheap fuel after South Sudan seceded in 2011, taking with it most of Sudan's oil income. The demonstrations are becoming increasingly focused on calling for an end to President Omar al-Bashir's government, with opposition leaders demanding a transitional government and a new constitution. Sudan's information minister says the demonstrations are the result of what he calls terrorist action, and he says his government is not concerned that it is in danger of losing power.
We are expecting some sort of demonstrations, and this is usual, as happens in any country which do such reforms. We are very sorry for those who have killed innocent people. I'm sure we are going to do investigations. Any sort of peaceful demonstration, we are going to accept it, we are going to guard it, and nobody will interfere.
These protests do seem to be gaining some degree of momentum, encouraged in part by the anger felt at the deaths of so many demonstrators. But the government is confident that it can and will contain them. The coming days are crucial for determining which way things are headed. Harriet Martin, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Several members of Greece's far-right Golf